There's more breaking news this hour. President Biden now speaking out about a video that was shared on Donald Trump's social media account, predicting, and I'm quoting now, a unified Reich if Trump returns to the White House. The president slamming Trump for using Hitler's language. CNN's Kristen Holmes has more on the post and the backlash.
What happens after Donald Trump wins? What's next for America?
Former President Donald Trump posting, then removing, a video to his social media site Truth Social, referring to the creation of a unified Reich if he wins a second term. The 30-second video shared Monday featured hypothetical headlines styled as World War I era newspaper clippings.
The American dream is back, and the best is yet to come.
The text Unified Reich, a term often associated with Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler, appears under one headline that reads, "What's next for America?" And again at the end of the video under the text, MAGA.
Make America great again.
A spokesperson told CNN the Trump campaign did not create the video and it was, quote, reposted by a staffer who clearly did not see the word. The video was eventually deleted Tuesday morning from the former president's Truth Social account, but not before sparking a backlash led by President Joe Biden's campaign and administration.
This kind of rhetoric is unsurprising coming from the former president, and it is appalling. It shows our freedoms and our very democracy are at stake.
Biden calling out his Republican rival directly in an online video.
A unified Reich? That's Hitler's language. That's not America's.
The video is just the latest example in a string of comments and social media posts by the former president invoking racist or anti-Semitic rhetoric.
Any Jewish person that votes for a Democrat or votes for Biden should have their head examined.
Trump has also echoed language used by authoritarian leaders when describing undocumented migrants.
They're destroying the blood of our country. That's what they're doing.
And those he perceives as political enemies.
We will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
The inflammatory rhetoric was an emblem of Trump's first run for office and during his time in the White House. In 2017, after the deadly white supremacist protest in Charlottesville,
Jews will not replace us!
Trump delivered this statement.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
And during the 2016 campaign, Trump tweeted a graphic of Hillary Clinton that featured a pile of cash and a six-pointed star with the words, "most corrupt candidate ever." Trump later claimed the star represented a sheriff's badge and not the Star of David, though he eventually deleted the post and replaced it with a new image.
And Wolf, this posting of the video comes as many on Trump's team actually believe there is an opening with the Jewish American voters, including Democrats, because they are unhappy with Biden's handling of the Israel-Gaza war. They are putting plans to court Jewish voters. However, of course, this kind of rhetoric is unlikely to help with that. Wolf?
All right, Kristen, thanks very much. I want to bring in CNN political commentators Karen Finney and David Urban. And David, let me ask you quickly, how badly did the Trump campaign fumble this issue, a Reich? Remember, the Nazis called their regime the Third Reich.
Sure. So to be clear, the AP story on this is pretty good, very factual. The language is not Trump's language; it's language that's lifted from Wikipedia.
But he posted it.
No. It was reposted. A kid a gentleman, a person, Ramble Rants posted. The language says specifically, after World War II, German industrial strength and production significantly increased after 1871, driven by the creation of a unified Reich. That's the language it was posted and clipped there historically. Now listen, it's like the third rail of politics. Using the word Reich in any context is bad, especially when we should be talking about—
That's what Hitler used.
Because the Third Reich, right? So especially when we should be talking about what Israel condemned widely yesterday, as you know, on the floor of the UN Security Council. We had a moment of silence where the UN deputy the deputy ambassador to the UN stood in a moment of silence honoring a butcher of Tehran, right? This is a horrific person, and the Biden administration stood for a moment of silence. That is what is disgraceful we should be talking about, not some misstep by a kid on a campaign trail, and yet we're doing it. And that's the unforced error here.
What do you think?
Well, I think the problem is that, as Kristen's piece pointed out, we've heard this rhetoric from former President Trump over and over and over again. But I think to David's point, I don't think it's going to have much of an impact. But what it does do, it's a distraction, and it reminds us that we're in that part of the campaign where all these little things matter. And I certainly think it will matter to people who are now being reminded this is what it was like when Donald Trump was president, right? There was some tweet, something that got out that wasn't about them. It wasn't about their lives. It wasn't about what he might be doing to make their lives better. Instead, it's about, his own agenda or his own thoughts.
Yeah. All right. I want to move on to another sensitive political issue. David, let me get your thoughts. So there's another Trump video getting a lot of attention right now. The Biden campaign tweeted this clip from Trump's interview with KDKA earlier today. Watch this.
Well, related to this is the whole issue of contraceptives. Do you support any restrictions on a person's right to contraception?
Well, we're looking at that, and I'm going to have a policy on that very shortly. And I think it's something that you'll find interesting. And it's another issue that's very interesting. But you will find it, I think, very smart. I think it's a smart decision. But we'll be releasing it very soon.
Now, after that interview aired, as you know, David, the Trump campaign quickly released a statement which reads in part, let me quote, "I have never and will never advocate imposing restrictions on birth control or other contraceptives. This is a Democrat fabricated lie." But he just earlier, you heard what he said in that
kind
interview.
of fumbled. So John Delano there happens to be a good friend of mine. It was a little. He was eager today. We were texting this morning about he was eager to talk to the president. I'm not so sure he's eager now after he's created this controversy here.
He didn't create the controversy.
I understand.
The president's remarks created it.
The president fumbled. He fumbled the question, right? He was given a